Hi everybody, welcome to GTD 504. I'm so excited you're here. I'm Dr. Lindsay Smith, I'm your professor for the semester, and we're going to be spending this time together really trying to understand conflict and development and the relationship between the two. As you're going to see this next week, first week when we start reading, these are two disciplines which seemingly should be in conversation and have a long history of not being in conversation. Development being seen as something that happens after conflict is resolved. And we live in a time where there is a lot of conflict happening. Many of you may be from or live in countries that are experienced or have experienced conflict. And so this course is both timely and important and also very challenging. Some of the materials and topics that we talk about and read about can bring up really hard issues. So I'm here as a resource to support you. I've also included an optional reading here in the introduction section that talks about self-care and how researchers working on conflict can be aware of both the challenges and how they might take care of themselves in the midst of it. It's aimed at field researchers, which you're not, but I think the tips can be really helpful. The other thing that I posted in this first week for you that you can look at, it's not required, is a list of resources. There's a lot of great conflict trackers and primary materials available for you, and you'll be asked to do original research this semester, and so you can refer back in this intro module 0 to these resources to help you move forward. So the goal for this class is twofold. One, I want you to understand conflict and theories of conflict. I want you to be able to think about what tools we can use to analyze conflict, like a conflict analysis, which you'll be doing as your first assignment. I also want you to understand how development fits into conflict, how development can be a driver of conflict, and how it might be used as a tool to encourage peace building or peaceful futures. I also want you to learn about specific conflicts. So almost every week, except in weeks in which you have papers due, there will be an in-depth case analysis where you'll learn about a contemporary conflict and engage with primary data and apply the readings to that conflict. You will also have the opportunity to research and develop your own case study of a conflict that's not covered in the course, and that will be your final assignment. You have 2 papers in terms of assignment. Okay, the other thing that's important to note about this course is that there is a textbook. It's called Conflict and Development. It is fully available at the ASU library, but I recommend that you buy this book. It's about $40 on Amazon. You can also order it through Routledge. If you don't have access to buying it because of where you are living, it's totally fine to read the online version at ASU, but you need to plan early and download the chapters or the entire book because we have a limited license. So if everyone waits until the night before to access the book, we can run into problems because it's a big class. So this is the book. We're going to read the whole book. So do take time to make sure that you have access to that. Today, as soon as you get off this video, sit down and figure out how you're going to get this book. Either order it or download the chapters from the ASU library so that you can read it online. If you're downloading chapters, you also feel free to print them if it's easier for you to read in a physical form, which I find in today's distractive world it is. To follow up on that, in addition to the textbook, there will be at least one additional scholarly reading every week and primary materials for you to examine. In the age of AI and our busy schedules and our language barriers and our challenges, we all have things that we're facing. AI increasingly has become a tool which is offered up to us on a plate to solve those problems for us. But increasingly, we see people outsourcing their thinking and their analysis to AI, and that's not something that's acceptable in this class. You are expected to read the articles yourself, and in order to reward that hard work, especially as our concentration spans get smaller and smaller, half of your reading grade will come from you just uploading either an annotated PDF or photos of your physical book annotated. That means that you will need to highlight sections that are interesting to you, write notes in the margins if you have questions, underline key phrases, write summaries up. What I want you to upload in that section every single week is your honest, real engagement to try to understand both of the readings assigned to you. And that counts as much as the blog post that you'll post. It is hard to wrestle with these ideas. It takes time, and I want to reward that time by you uploading that, and your choice not to use AI to do the work for you, which again is, I know in our busy schedules can be hard, but I'd really like you to take the time to do that, and I want to reward that with points in this course. In addition to that, you'll also, those are due on Fridays, your reading engagements. On Mondays, you will need to turn in your blog post, which is your reading analysis. So you'll take 2 concepts from the reading that you pulled out, ideas that were really meaningful to you, that you highlighted, that you noted, and then you're going to apply it to the case study. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to email me. The second major form of assessment is going to be 2 papers, one of which is a conflict analysis, the second of which is a program evaluation. There's also a final project where you'll have to develop your own case study. You'll have to bring in materials related to conflict in a specific technology, present some kind of visual of that. That can be a PowerPoint presentation, that can be a visual, that can be a video. It's up to you. Again, I don't want an AI-generated slop for this. I'd rather it to be less polished and reflect your work more. Finally, to address AI one more time, it seems to be a theme. Every assignment requires an AI statement, so you must upload a statement talking about how you used AI in this assignment. If you used AI at all, if you didn't use AI at all, just indicate that. If you did use AI at all, you'll need to include a link to the chat. So I've included a link to how to do that both in Claude and in ChatGPT, but if you use another one and you can't figure out how to send me a link to the chat, you can email me. So I recommend opening a new chat. So if you have an ongoing long chat with lots of different things in it, when you begin your papers and if you plan to use generative AI, then you will need to have a clean chat to send me. Also, that chat must match your statement. So if you say you only used it for translation, then the chat should reflect that, that you send. We will be using an AI detection tool to ensure compliance with that. So the important thing is AI cannot write your papers for you, AI cannot pick your quotes, AI cannot read for you. You can use AI as a tool, but you must document exactly how you use that, and then you must submit a chat that does that. So that's really the policy in this class. There's nothing that's particularly hard that you're not capable of doing here. So I encourage you to dust off your thinking cap and really engage with the readings and write in your own voice with your own thoughts. I think it's only when we have committed thinking people who are doing their best to reckon with challenging things that we can really dive in and change conflict. So I encourage you guys all to take an opportunity to do that in this course. The last thing that I just want to put out there is I'd like to meet with all of you guys one-on-one via Zoom. So the last assignment for week 0 is for you to schedule an appointment with me using Calendly. I have a link. You can pick a time that works for you. If you're in another time zone and none of those times work for you, please send me an email and I can try, and I will find a time to accommodate you outside of the windows that are available on that link. I'm so excited to be in this class with you, and to all the interesting discussions we're going to have, and the difficult topics we're going to embark upon, and hopefully a solutions-oriented understanding of conflict, its impact on people, and how we might work together with technology and with each other to build a safer and more secure world for everyone. So I'm really excited to meet you all, and let's get started.